Hi, Cancer. Thank you for joining me. This is Yetta Pearl, and I'm just so in appreciation of you and how you guys have helped grow this channel and continue to help grow this channel. It's beautiful. I appreciate you very much. And so, if by chance you have not yet hit subscribe, I strongly encourage you to do that. I just think with the world these days, more and more people are looking for this kind of guidance. And so when more people are exposed to the opportunity, then that helps the whole world. And you know, some of you'll be sitting there saying, oh, that's so conceited of her. It's not at all. It's kind of almost the opposite. I don't create the messages. All I do is channel them, like I let them come through me. And it's been given to me that is a real service, that there are people who are unable to receive those messages otherwise, and I used to be one of them, right? So, so I do understand how valuable it is to be getting these kinds of messages and this kind of guidance from our guardian angels. So I thank you. That's what I'm trying to say. So this is your general angel reading for the week of September 6th through 12th of 2021. And because it's a general reading, maybe not all parts will resonate with you, but that's totally fine. Just take what does and leave the rest. Okay, give me a second here. I will see what's going on. Oh yeah, looks pretty good here. Let's just get started. So here we have Father Healing. What else does it say? Your personal power increases as you give any father-related issues to heaven. So for those of you, and they're telling me directly that this is not applicable to everyone, but for those of you who are aware that you have things that have created triggers within you related to your father or a father figure in your life, it's time to kind of get those out and look at them. They're no longer serving you. You know, for a while when we're young and we're growing up, a lot of the things that our fathers or parents in general have taught us they stand in good stead. I mean, they keep us safe, remembering those lessons, things like that. Some of that is no longer serving you. Some of that is now holding you back. And so when you realize, you know, parts in your life that you think, you know, oh, I can't do that, or I'm not good at that, or I'm not worthy of that, or whatever it is, however it goes, take that out and look at it and see if there is something there that was taught to you by your father or father figure that was true in their time. Because it almost always is. Like, people don't teach you things that they haven't used, right? That it was true for them, but it's no longer true for you. And so in that way, it is doing you a disservice for you to keep that as a belief system or as an action or a response. And so it's now in your best interest to clear that from yourself. Right? And so when you do that, you have to determine what's a better way that you want to be or act or believe now, right? So you have to replace it, kind of, and add in some forgiveness for your father or father figure. Add in some compassion, because they were doing their best. You know, even for those of you who had really terrible relationships with your fathers, add in some compassion, some forgiveness, you know, even just a little at a time until you can really mean it, because that benefits you. It has nothing to do with him. It benefits you. And that's your angels are all about benefiting you. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. We're angels. Where are we going next with it? Okay. We'll just go this direction. So it looks like, it looks like your true love is here. So for those of you who are looking for love right now, They are in your world now, or at least ready to be. So if you never go anywhere, if you stay home and never talk to anybody, you don't do anything outside of work or whatever, pretty hard to find the true love, right? So you actually have to take steps and go meet the person or interact with other people in some way. Excuse me. And yes, you will have to speak so that they can hear you, so that they can be drawn to you, right? So using your voice as well, and being your own true authentic self. Don't just say things you think they want to hear, because that just makes you look foolish. It does the opposite of what you think. And so so just being your own true self and speaking your truth and using your voice, because your voice is beautiful, and that alerts the other person that you're there. For people who are already in your relationship, notice what it is about your relationship that leads you to believe this is your true love. For some of you, it feels like you've been in this relationship a long time and you've forgotten, or you've lost sight, or the little garbage shit has kind of taken over, is what it feels like. And for some of you, that's true. For some of you, that person is not your true love. So in that case, that's what this card is representing, the knowledge of that. It's like a recognition. And it doesn't actually have anything to do with qualities, like in a way it does, but I mean, like, okay, so the person is really good at fixing the little things around the house that break. That's got nothing to do with whether they're your true love or not. They could be totally inept that way and be your true love, right? Like, it has nothing to do with those kinds of qualities. You do want somebody who's kind to you, always. You want somebody who is open-minded and can change their point of view depending on what your situation is with them. Those kinds of things, yes, you want. Those are valuable. But if they don't quite have that the way you think the ideal person would, doesn't mean they're not your true love, right? It's a feeling. It's a heart connection, which really has nothing to do with those kinds of exterior qualities. Yeah. Do they make your heart sing? Do you feel like you resonate with them? Do you feel like you can sit down beside them and hold their hand without talking? All those things. And so recognizing your true love is going to be a key part of this week. You'll like it. It's like deep work in a way, but you will recognize that it's overdue. That you should have done this a while ago. Okay, there's no should. Okay, yes, thank you. But that it's something that would have been beneficial to you to do a while ago. Doesn't matter. Now is good time. Yeah. Okay, so your inner goddess knows all those answers. So tapping in, and so this is a non-denominational card or non-gender specific card. So this is male or female. Take it however it is. If you're male, this is your inner god. If you're female, this is your inner goddess, right? And so this means your person who, like your consciousness, which is above you. This is like your upper guidance, right? And because they're up there, there's a bird's eye view of your whole life and what pathways are available to you and what direction you're going and all that stuff, right? And so nurturing your inner god or goddess is is a way to help yourself develop. Yeah. And so this inner part of yourself knows the true love, knows the healing to be done with the male figures in your life. And when you can tap into that wisdom and allow that to flow and allow yourself to follow that guidance, then life becomes a lot easier. And so tapping into that is obviously in your best interest. But don't let it be hard, like I remember working way too hard at that and thinking I had to really be conscious of that every minute and all that kind of stuff. It's just, I'd get to a point where I'd just be really straining at it and creating resistance because I was just trying too hard. And the minute I would get just so frustrated and say, like, I'm trying so hard to learn this stuff and it's just not coming easily. You know what? I give up for right now. I give up. And I would just drop it all, stop thinking about it, just try and just get through life. And all of a sudden, boom, all this healing and knowledge and everything would just come flooding in because I had dropped the resistance to it. And what a lesson. It took several times before I truly understood how to kind of avoid doing that. And I think actually sometimes I still do that. So it, it's quite a learning process. But the more you can just be easy about it and let the knowledge in, the easier it becomes. Okay. And so, okay, make a wish. So do it this way. When you identify what you want, and, they're just giving me this extra guidance. Identify what you want by how it makes you feel, right? So when you're writing down, they're suggesting that you write down what you want. So write it down in terms of how it feels. Instead of, I want a big, beautiful house, write down, I want to feel absolutely welcomed and comfortable and at ease in my beautiful home. Right? So, like, it doesn't matter how big the house is. It doesn't even matter how it's decorated, really, as long as you find it beautiful. Right? And so it makes you feel warm and welcomed and comfortable. And so that's, they're saying, is the best way for you to manifest your desires, to identify what you want and write down how it makes you feel, and then get yourself directly into that feeling. So to know how you want to feel, you have to sit there and feel like that, right? So how does it feel to be warm and welcomed and comfortable in your beautiful home? Oh, that's delicious, isn't it? It really is a delicious feeling. And so that's how you manifest. And keep yourself in that feeling for as long as you absolutely can and as often as you absolutely can. Beautiful. Okay. And so life becomes fair. Huh. What does that mean to you? They're telling me that that's just different for everybody. There are things which are being shared amongst more than one person, yourself included. I'm not sure if it's a group or if it's two people or just what it is. Maybe it's, a variety, right? But things are being shared between all of you, and it is fair. There will be moments where you or somebody else will have to kind of check everything and say, okay, is this fair? And if it's not, well, let's redistribute some things and let's make it fair. So this could be workloads at work. This could be, if your relationship is in a change, if perhaps your person you've been with is not your true love, perhaps that is being divided, right? and then you have to, choose. There will be moments where one or both or all of you will say, okay, this doesn't quite feel fair. And then it's up to everybody else to be receptive to that and to say, oh, okay, let's have a look at it, right? But fairness is the end of the game. Fairness is the result. So that feels pretty good. And the beautiful ending of the week. Yes. Yes. Whatever you're asking for, yes. That's the answer. Yes, it's a good idea. Yes, you can do it. Yes, you're beautiful. Yes, you are amazing. Yes, you can do what you want. You can have what you need. Yes. Fabulous. Okay, let's take one more bit of wisdom from the daily guidance cards. And let's, okay, no, they didn't quite fall. And this one flipped. Okay. Giving and receiving. Yeah, so that's a balance thing. It kind of has to do with that fairness as well. So giving and receiving, when you are conscious of how you can create an imbalance within yourself in this way, then you can consciously correct it. So this doesn't have to be with every individual. It doesn't have to be every single day. But in general, as an overview of your life, you need to be in balance with how much you are giving and how much you are receiving. So you giving, looks like everything, like every interaction you have with everybody. Anytime you are giving of your time and your attention and your passion and your action and your love and your compassion, that is giving. All of you, it feels like all of you are very familiar with that. Receiving is much more difficult. And so when somebody else is giving to you, it's one thing to recognize that they are giving. It's a separate thing to receive it. Do you understand that? If somebody is doing things that normally would be your job, whether at work or at home or whatever, but you've been just swamped, and so it's had to kind of be not the first priority, and somebody else has kind of just quietly come in and accomplished that for you. If you sit there and feel guilty over that and feel like, oh my gosh, I need to do better because they had to take up my slack and all that stuff, feels very different, rather than acknowledging what they've done and saying, oh, thank you, that really helps. Right? That's receiving. The other one is not. Guilt doesn't serve anybody, and feeling inadequate doesn't serve anybody. So when somebody has been kind enough to give to you, whether it's an action like that or not, perhaps it's a total stranger who picked a flower from a public park and handed it to you as you walked by. Say thank you. That's all. And appreciate it. Beautiful. Okay, so Gemini, let's work together. Send some of that appreciation and that giving and receiving balance across the whole world, so that we all understand what it's like to give as well as to receive. That's a really great thing for all of us. Yes. Yes. Thank you. I want you to know how much I appreciate you and how much I love you, and I'll see you next week. And so, I'm just realizing that I said Gemini instead of Cancer. This whole reading has been Cancer, I promise you. The energy coming through was Cancer. It was just kind of I don't even know why I said Gemini. So, I apologize for if there was any confusion. If I did it more than once, I have no idea. So, So thank you. Honestly, this was a Cancer reading. Okay, I will try to do better. Thank you.